Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode number 206 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's episode, we're going to talk about funnels because this is a question I get more and more when I'm talking to clients. Do you need a funnel for your veterinary hospital? And what is a funnel? You've probably heard of marketing funnels in general. We're going to cover some of the major misconceptions, some things you should consider before you decide to invest in building out funnels. So before we get into today's episode, I want to mention a few things. First, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe in iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. And if you could do me a huge favor, please leave me an honest review in either iTunes or Google Play, and I would really appreciate that. So another thing, too, is that if you're not a member of the Veterinary Marketing Nerds Facebook group, you're going to definitely want to sign up. It's free to join. You can get a ton of help there, ask questions, all kinds of good stuff. So if you go to facebook.com/groups/the Veterinary Marketing Nerds with no spaces, you can request to join there. I'd also like to mention, too, September 23rd, I'm launching a new analytics course. So if you're trying to figure out if your marketing is being successful or not, if you're wasting money, wasting time, this is going to be really, really helpful for you. If you go into that group, you'll see a post on how to get special pricing for that. So join the Veterinary Marketing Nerds. Be sure to check out this new analytics. It's a challenge course, and it's going to be really, really helpful for getting all of your marketing streamlined and really understanding what's working and what's not. All right, let's jump into today's episode number 206. So very excited about just where the veterinary industry in general is going when it comes to marketing, because it seems like people are catching up and they're getting more sophisticated and they want more things when it comes to their marketing. So let's talk about a funnel first of all. What is a funnel? So funnels I think have been made pretty mainstream. People like Russell Brunson and other kind of famous marketers. Russell Brunson has a software product called ClickFunnels, and he teaches you through a course called Funnel Hacker Live, which is his conference and events and things where he teaches you how to build funnels. And basically what you do is you go from finding people who are essentially strangers, and you take them from the top of the funnel, which is awareness. They can't do business with you until they're aware of your product or services, to then evaluation. So once somebody sees your product or service, they're then going to evaluate you and decide if they're then going to either follow your brand on social or sign up for email or take the next step. And then finally, they're going to convert. So awareness, evaluation, conversion, and then reconversion over and over again. And so that's, in a nutshell, what a funnel is. But it's important to note that a lot of the things that people are teaching about funnels, I think that you need to just consider a few things before you really get started in diving into building out funnels. And so the first thing that you need to consider is, who is it that you want coming into your veterinary practice? Because this is really, really important. This is the basic foundations of any marketing in general. Who are we trying to target and who are we trying to serve? Because ultimately it really, really makes a difference on who it is that you're trying to target and the products and services that you're trying to sell. Now, in Funnel Hacker Live, which is like a product that Russell Brunson does, and I'm mentioning him a lot because a lot of people know him. He has ClickFunnels, and he teaches a lot of really good things. And a lot of the stuff that he teaches to people across all kinds of different industries, coaching and financial planning and different business opportunities and internet courses and just all kinds of things in general, right? And so there are going to be things that you're selling that take a longer time to sell. If you think about, for example, if somebody's going to typically buy a new car, you have kind of a spectrum of people that are ready to buy a new car. You have people that their car just broke down, or maybe they got in an accident and they need a car right now. And then you have people on the other side of that spectrum that they've seen, a new kind of car that they're looking for, and they're thinking about weighing their options, and they're starting to do research and things like that. So you have kind of a scale of urgency when it comes to different products and services that you're going to be selling. And same thing with pet owners and your business. And so you have people maybe that are considering getting a puppy, and they're doing research on different kinds of breeds and potty training and just what kind of food they should be doing or feeding their pet, what kind of just everything, kind of how to brush your dog's teeth when they get it, how much they need to be exercising their dogs, what's the best kind of like dog toys, you name it. There's people that are starting to do research on there. And so you have that kind of level of people doing research and not super urgent. Then you have the other side of the scale, which is somebody's dog just ate a bar of chocolate and they need somebody right now because their dog is going to get sick. And so they're calling the emergency vet, and the first number that's on there is going to be the one that they call. And so a lot of times what I see veterinary practices doing is they're saying, okay, let's go out and create a funnel. And what we're going to do is create an email sequence and a follow-up sequence and basically drive people from being that complete strangers to then going through awareness, evaluation, and then conversion. And so I see people putting a lot of time and energy, especially around their products that are related to boarding and grooming and, puppy packages and things like that. And I think that that's generally pretty cool. There is so much opportunity out there because it takes a ton of work and it takes a ton of resources. When you build out a funnel, and I ask people typically if they say, can we build out a funnel for, certain products or services? I say, sure, but what does that mean to you? Because a funnel is typically a multi-touch system that's going to drive them from probably your website, then to email, then back to website, additional content pieces, possibly to your social channels and things like that. That's just one version of a funnel. And so depending on how much you've learned and what you're thinking about, a funnel could mean a ton of things. And so I think it's really, really important to, number one, evaluate what your goals are. And again, it all comes back to what it is that you're looking to sell. And ultimately, that's why we're doing marketing, to bring in new clients to sell products and services, because hopefully you feel strongly enough that the products and services that you're selling is going to be benefiting people. And if you don't get them in the door and you don't get them, coming in and taking your recommendations and becoming compliant clients, you're not going to be able to help as many pets. And so it's really important that you have that conviction that you're helping people. And through helping people, you're going to need to sell products and services. So that being said, though, there are people out there who need and want what you have right away. And so we can also really kind of shorten that entire process by moving up the urgency ladder and finding people who are actively looking for and searching for what it is that you're offering. And so, going out and building these funnels that are going to attract people that are, I always use the example of people searching for, why is my dog dragging its butt on the carpet, right? That's definitely a dog owner, but are they so, have such a problem that they're going to actually come in right now as a result of that? You could answer that question, and then you could build out an email pop-up that says, hey, receive special info on events and promotions that our veterinary hospital is doing. And so you could get a huge email list, you could build that, and then you could use that email list to then drive people into your practice over time. And that would be an example of a funnel. But you could also, at the same time, go out and you could find people that are searching for best vet near me. And then the funnel would look much differently. You would probably just have an ad, and then you would drive them to your landing page that talks about a relevant product or service. And then the call to action is either fill out an online appointment request or give us a call and set an appointment. And that's also a funnel. Getting people to go from Google to calling directly is also a funnel. So I just kind of wanted to give you an alternative view of funnels are taking attention and finding people based on kind of the urgency scale that they're at, where are they at, and what do they need based on how urgent their situation is. So there's kind of two different ways that you can go about finding clients. You can find a client, you can educate them, and you can convince them and teach them and help them to understand exactly what it is that you're trying to do and how you're trying to help them and the things that they should be doing and the things that you're going to recommend to them. Or you can go out and you can find people who already have the same philosophy about caring for their pets. One of those is way shorter and way easier. And there's just tons of people out there. I mean, there's people who think that the earth is flat and they're convinced that the earth is flat. So, I mean, we have a huge spectrum across any topic of where people are right now. There's a famous saying in marketing is that you should engage your prospects with the conversation that they already have going on in their mind. And so I think it is definitely important that you're constantly educating clients and helping to essentially indoctrinate them into the thinking and the philosophy that you have built around care. But at the same time, I mean, pretty much anything in today's world is polarized, whether it's climate change, whether it's economic views, whether it's COVID or wearing a mask or anything. There's people that are ardently opposed to the other side regarding anything. I mean, if you look in the veterinary space, it's going to be people that are opposed to grain-free diets versus diets that have conventional dog food, right? That's like one of the perfect examples. Instead of trying to convince people, you know what, this is exactly why, and here's the studies and the evidence that we have. What if you just went after the people that are essentially already having the belief system that you also believe, and you know that the clients that you love working with typically think this about the way that they're going to care for pets. So that's kind of one thing that I would mention is that if you're thinking about building out funnels, I would say start with the lowest hanging fruit. And what I mean by that is find people who actively need and actively want and are actively searching for a solution that you have the right answer to. And you're going to be able to identify and segment those people based on the kinds of searches that they're doing. So thinking about that urgency scale, we also want to qualify that, because somebody that goes on Google and searches for free kitten vaccinations near me, they definitely have a need. They know that they need to get their cat vaccinated, but they're looking for free or low cost or shelter or things like that. That's definitely somebody who has a need, but it's not the right kind of need. And so if you're going to be advertising or putting effort into finding these people, building out funnels that actually are targeting the right groups of people in the right ways that you really want coming in, I think that's very, very important to maintain that focus. So that's one thing. Starting with the low-hanging fruit, find people at the highest level of urgency that you're willing to work with. And I know that certain practices don't want emergencies that are true emergency type things, but you do have non-life-threatening emergencies. And then beyond that, you have situations that are very, very compelling, that, pain management or neurological issues or vision issues or, major problems that deal with TPLO surgery. There's just a ton of things that are very urgent that are non-life threatening. Dental issues, the list goes on. You can think of all kinds. All the way up to people considering what kind of breed of puppy should I be looking at for my situation. And so when you're building out content, I would say that the kinds of funnels that you're going to build, especially if they're higher up in the urgency level, you should make funnels that are going to be dual purpose. And what I mean by that is if you're creating content about breeds of puppies, for example, that's stuff that you need to be posting out on your social. So it should be content that you're going to be able to repost as a blog post, as a video, as a status, as a topic in your Facebook group, plus an email that you send out. And so while you're building funnels, and if you think about content creation from this perspective too, you're going to get content created. And then at the same time, you're going to be building out things that'll help to drive and segment the list that you already have, and then gives you a way to grow in the future as well. So if you're talking up, and this is really the suggestion that I make for everybody that I work with, if you're thinking about going higher in the funnel where you don't have necessarily the same level of urgency as somebody that actually needs and wants what you have and they're out there searching for it, use it as content that's going to segment and really help you to get more people. So when you're thinking about building funnels that are high up, maybe it's a puppy course that you make as an email course that's delivered over 2 weeks, everything that you need to know to successfully raise a puppy, for example, and you just break it down and do an email every other day, and it gets sent out, and it has blog posts, calls to action, and some kind of special offer. That would definitely make sense. But I would say that having more urgent and kind of the lower hanging fruit that you go after that's going to generate and yield much more immediate results. When you're looking for some type of quick client and quick result too, especially if things slow down or if you just want to fill the schedule, the lower in the funnel that you go and the targets that you're targeting that are lower in the funnel, the quicker you're going to be to get results that are going to generate return on investment. So typically when I go through and like if I'm looking at funnels, whether it's an e-commerce site that we're selling products online, or it's a site that is generating service things, we start actually at the bottom of the funnel with the reconversion. So we're making sure we're selling as much as possible to the current clients. That makes sense. We're obviously not trying to be just constantly selling to the list, but do we have upsells in place? Do we have reconversion offers in place? And are we actively using the bottom of the funnel to its greatest potential? Because that gives immediate return on investment. And then we work our way back from that. So once you have the bottom of your funnel figured out too, a really important note is that you will see far greater returns if you fix the bottom of your funnel first, meaning the conversion process and targeting that low-hanging fruit, getting a way to measure and track how the results are going, as well as having a great call to action and a great offer. When you get people then at the awareness stage, if the bottom of the funnel converts at a higher return, you're going to just see far greater results. So instead of working at the top and trying to figure out that top of funnel awareness content, which is where a lot of veterinary practices go and spend a lot of time, it doesn't make sense to necessarily do that because you want to make sure that you're going to be able to actually sell them products and services. And so focus at the lowest hanging fruit and then work up from there. And I think that's going to help you to be a lot more successful over time. And so just as a quick recap here, you don't need to build out an elaborate email system or text message marketing or multi-touch marketing. You can just have somebody that needs something with a call to action and an offer. And that can be as short as the funnel is. Or it can be as long as you want it. That spans over months of emailing to try to get them to come into your practice. So make sure that you're doing marketing activities that are going to really help you to move where you want to be and get you to your goals based on what it is that you're looking to sell, who you're looking to sell to, and the products and services that you're looking to promote. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Just a quick reminder, head on over to the Facebook group, the Veterinary Marketing Nerds. Take a look at that analytics course and the challenge course that we have coming up here. It starts September 23rd. It's going to help a lot of veterinary practices change the way that they look at their marketing. And if you want to know once and for all, is this actually being successful? What marketing opportunities are being successful? How do I know if something's working or not? What about the marketing company or the marketing person in the practice? Do I know what they're doing is successful? Is it not successful? How can I tell? This is going to really, really help you to get clear on what's working and what's not, and if you're wasting your time and your money or if it's being a success. So I hope that you'll join that course. Be sure to send any questions to me if you have any, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a good day, everybody.